Hi YouTube. Well, the title of this video is Moving to the Philippines, What Would I Have Done Different? And during the course of this video, I'm going to be looking down because I made some notes for one of the very first times. I think the only time I made notes before was when I did a budget video. And the reason I made notes is because this video was inspired by a Facebook post that I put up last night. And I just said ideas for a video or something to that effect. And a lot of guys wrote to me on that, well, not a lot of guys, but one guy suggested that I do a video about what would I have done differently, what did I learn, what mistakes did I make, and how would I have changed things if I could kind of go back in time, and or advice for someone that's actually moving out here. So I figured that I would actually write this down because out of all the videos I've done, I thought this one should probably just have a little redeeming value. Just change it around a little. See if I can do something that actually helps somebody. So as you know, if you've watched my videos in the past, I don't give advice. I just try to tell you what I did, and how it happened, and what exploded and what went right. And let you draw your own conclusions. So this is, of course, is not an advice video because I don't do that. And before I jump into it, I just wanted to thank everyone that's subscribed recently. For some reason, I think I know the reason, but for some reason I've had over 650 subscribers in like the last 3 or 4 days. And a week ago, so welcome to the channel, everybody. Thanks. But about a week ago, YouTube's little algorithm picked me back up and started throwing me out there. And my analogy of why so many people are subscribing right now is because of the quarantine. Normally, you'd be at work, you'd be doing something productive, but it's like day 20 here of the big quarantine, lockdown. And I'm putting myself in your shoes, and I'm thinking, you know, I kind of got an idea of the demographics of my channel. It's mostly guys like me and older white guys. And you're sitting at home on day 20, you know, what's needed to be painted's been painted, the drawer's been cleaned out, you know, the junk drawer, all the stuff, the nicky-nacky stuff around the house at the apartment, you handle that in week 1. And now your choice is you can either, if you're like me, you've burned through Netflix already, all the English-speaking stuff at least. And your choice right now is you can either watch The Bourne Identity for the 14th time, or you're just thinking, I'll just watch this idiot for 22 minutes. So anyway, thanks guys. I'm glad you're with us here. So for the guys that are thinking about moving here and are trying to get prepped, they're selling their homes, they're decluttering, getting organized, I thought I'd kind of go over a little laundry list of what I did and what I think I should have done, and if hypothetically, if I was just to call it quits tonight and go back to America for 6 months or a year and then decide to come back here, this is sort of the recreation of how I would change things around and what I would do differently. Prior to coming out here, I did my best to prep it, and a lot of the things I got right. A lot of the things that I'm going to talk to you about, I actually did. I did them right. They were all set up, but they needed to be tweaked. And then there's some stuff that I thought I was doing right. I was actually advised to do things, and they were wrong. One quick little note is I did a Skype call, this is over 3 years ago, before I came out here with a YouTube guy. And I think I paid $40 for an hour, and I chatted with him, and I asked him specifically about clothes. I said, hey, you know, I'm just going to bring a suitcase and a backpack. And I asked him about a computer, and I asked him about phones, and I asked him about where I should stay, and I asked him specifically the question about clothes. I said, you know, I've got about a dozen shirts and some dress pants and some jeans and some shorts and some shoes. And he said, you know what, man, just bring 5 or 6 shirts. Just bring a couple pairs of shorts, because when you get out here, you can just buy all new stuff. I mean, why carry that with you? And maybe that worked for him, but I'm going to tell you right up front, because it's kind of like the burning thing in my mind. It may seem minor to you, but I couldn't find anything in my size out here, number one. I'm 5'7", I weigh 180 pounds, and so, you know, I'm kind of a fat guy. I got a belly on me. And I'm not particularly tall or any of that. In fact, I'm short. But I couldn't, everything out here, at least in Dumaguete, and I can't speak for other islands or other cities or anything, but in Dumaguete, everything that I went to go look for and continue 3 years later to look for is a slim fit. It's for the local people. And I'm anything but slim. I'm, you know, extra large out here. And so, excuse me, if I had it to do all over again, that was bad advice. If I had it to do all over again, one of the first things that I would do is I would go to Walmart, Costco, whatever. I would buy just tons of shirts, shorts, shoes, socks, underwear, knowing that if I know that I'm going to live here. If I know for certain that this is the thing. When I came out, it was more of an exploratory trip that turned into a permanent deal. So that was my mindset. But if I was to go home now, start all over again, and know again that I was going to be out here on a permanent basis, I would go down to Walmart or whatever. I would buy all the shirts, nice shirts with a breathable fabric, not cotton like I've got. Because at Walmart, Costco, any of the discount places, your sizes are right there. The prices are super competitive. I remember buying polo shirts, golf shirts, nice fabric shirts for $8, $9, $5, 2-for-1s, this, that, the other. Same thing with the shorts. And I would not go cheap. I would get some nice cargo shorts. I would get like 10 or 12 pairs. And because that's all I wear out here. Long pants, I've got a pair of jeans. I've worn them 2 or 3 times. Long shirts, I did bring some dress shirts. I have worn them 2 or 3 times, but not a lot. And they need to be ironed and all that kind of stuff. So for my lifestyle out here, I like comfortable clothes, comfortable shoes. What I did not find out here that I was told I would find was, number one, a lot of clothes that would fit me. That didn't happen. It's been 3 years. I'm still looking for those. And they would be inexpensive, which they're not. I went to go buy shoes. May and I ran around. We went to about 4 or 5 different stores about 3 or 4 months ago, I guess, just to pick up a pair of new shoes for me. And finding my size was a grind. And finding something that I liked, something that fit, and something that wasn't astronomically priced was a chore. And I think we got a pair of shoes for me that were, I forget now, 20 bucks, something like that. I went to the mall and looked at shoes, the name brand stuff. There is as much money, if not more, than in the States. $100, $150 USD for a pair of friggin' shoes, which I'm just not going to do. If I was 23 years old, maybe that would be a big thing, but I'm 65. I just want a pair of comfortable shoes. I can go into Walmart, to the shoe department, and I can pick up shoes for 15 bucks. Cheap ones, throwaway shoes. I recommend for myself, I'm not giving you advice, but I would buy sturdy shoes. I would get 4 or 5 pairs of them. I would load up on packets of underwear. I would load up on cargo shorts, good quality stuff, maybe the kind that you can get wet, go in the water, come out of the water, lots of pockets, security stuff. And the same thing with shirts. All right, so I won't belabor the clothes thing anymore. But that I would definitely change, simply because it was not available out here. And then when I have found shirts or shorts that fit me, I just can't ink up for them. I mean, May and I went out and ran around and looked for shorts, and I think they were $40 or $50 just for a pair of cargo shorts that fit me. When I went to Indonesia a couple of years ago, I bought shirts because they had them there, t-shirts, but they're all cotton, and everything's got some sort of printing on it, which makes me crazy. Just want a plain golf shirt, just want a plain t-shirt, just want something that fits and is a different color and doesn't say frickin' FUBU on it. But anyway, it is what it is. That's a big, long-winded explanation, but I feel very, very compelled to tell you that if you're coming out here and you're planning to live out here, then bring clothes. If it means 2 suitcases, so be it. Some other items that I would encourage you or myself, if I went back, I'm trying to keep this on me, not you. Eyewear. Same thing with glasses. Out here, they're the same price as they are in the States. End of story. I bought some glasses and some sunglasses 3 or 4 months ago when I went to Vietnam because they were half price, and both of them are on my kitchen table. They're both broken. They're both just cheap Chinese crap. I thought they were good. They're not, and so be it. But I can't wear them. These are 4 or 5 years old. They're like bulletproof. And I bought them in the States. If I went home, I would go in, I would order 2 more pairs just like it, and then of course I would get some fashion glasses. So glasses, I would strongly urge, if you're wearing eyewear or contacts, a toupee, I don't know. But you know what I mean, to load up on that kind of stuff that you can get out there and have reserve, a backup, kind of a plan B, plan C. I find glasses to be, I mean, they're my eyes. I can't see without them. So yeah, that's very important. In fact, what I did do, now that I think about it, in my bedroom, I've got 4 or 5 pairs of readers because I think there was a packet of them at like the 99-cent store that I just last minute grabbed and threw into my bag. And I haven't had to use them, but they are there, so that if I had to have them, I've got them. I could read a document, I could read an email, I could read a menu, whatever. And until I got my regular glasses, because I have bifocals, distance close. Okay, banking. Banking. I did that right. I have my Social Security check, and this is important, so pay attention. This question gets asked a lot. I have my Social Security check direct deposit into my American bank, okay? And it stays in America. I just went this morning and I used a company called Xoom, Xoom. There are a couple of other companies that you can use, or services I should say, Remit and TransferWise. And I think Remit and TransferWise are both cheaper. They both work just as well as Xoom. I don't use them because I've set up with Xoom already. I'm comfortable with Xoom, and it costs $3 or $4 more, and I just don't want to change. So there. But you got the names: Xoom, Remit, TransferWise. These will transfer your money over here. Today I got 1,300 USD. That's going to run me, excuse me, I usually use $1,500, but because of the lockdown, we just haven't been spending money. And in fact, out of the $1,300, I gave $200 to Baby May because she got that last month for her bikini fund deal. And so she's happy about that, and she thanks you guys that helped her out a few months ago. That just came in. So we're gonna run out for the next 3 weeks on $1,100. And again, we're down $200 from what we normally spend because we've been locked up here at the house and we haven't been able to go out and frivolously spend our money. So, getting back on it. My money goes into Chase, my bank at home. I use Xoom to move it out here. I change it immediately to pesos, and I've got the money stashed here. in my apartment to pay the rent, to pay the electric, the bip, the bop, the boop, money in my pocket, gave May her money. Until the second Wednesday of next month, when if I need money, I'll zoom some more over. I do have a bank account here. I don't use it anymore simply because the banking over here is goofy. I don't trust it. If I was to have deposited my $1,300 into my bank here, they would have held it, even though it was cash, for I think 2 weeks to figure out where the money came from or some laundering thing. It's just not worth it. I just stashed the money here at the apartment. So if you want to come rob me, rock on. One thing that I did not do was I did not set up what's called a VPN. A VPN is an American-based IP number. So if I want to contact Social Security right now, I can't on my Philippines VPN or IP number on my computer. They just won't talk to me. So that is something that I would have changed. I would have set up a VPN with an American IP address. So if I wanted to contact anybody, and I understand that it's like useful if you want to get Netflix or TV shows or anything else. I don't have it because I don't really need to contact anybody. It's not imperative that I spend the money for that. But that is something that I would have just changed just for the convenience sakes. So money is zoomed over here. I think we covered that. The VPN, a mailbox. What about mail? What if you're still getting mail? What if you're still getting credit card bills, this, that, the other? I have my money sent to, I have my mail sent to my ex-wife, of all people. But she's cool because we still have kids together, we still talk, and we got a little stress and tension and whatnot, but she's trustworthy. I've had a few notices come in, like from Social Security, about Medicare and whatnot. She opens it up, she'll take a picture of it, and she'll send it to me. Or my taxes, same thing. Back when I was doing taxes, I don't do that anymore. I don't have to file anymore. But when I first got here, I did have to file. And so she sent me all my pay stubs and whatnot via, Messenger, and I was able to do my taxes off of that. But there is a mailbox service. I don't know the name of it. You'd have to Google it. And I think it's about $20 a month. And what they will do is, it's a mailbox with a real live address, so it doesn't look like a mailbox. And they will open up your mail for you, and they'll either shred it, or they'll scan it and send it to you, or they'll forward it to you. So let's say you do get a new ATM card or a new credit card in the mail because yours is expired or lost or damaged or whatever. That, I think, is a very, very significant thing that you might want to have. Is a mailbox forwarding service, so they can send it to you. It will take at least a month to get any mail here. Real quick sidebar on that. I had a dispute with my ATM card with my bank, and I had been charged $100 erroneously, and I spent $25 on the phone making a phone call to my bank, because I was put on hold, of course. We straightened out the problem. They canceled out my card so no more charges would go against it. They did mail to me here in the Philippines a new ATM card. It took exactly 30 days. So I got lucky on that one, but I would have preferred to have had the mailbox thing that they could have sent it to there and had it forwarded here, because they may not have forwarded it to the Philippines. Some businesses won't. I've had 2 credit cards out here cancel me because they found out I'm living in the Philippines. Which brings me to telephones. I mentioned that I spent $25 making a phone call. That was on my little local SIM card here. When you come out here, you need to chat with T-Mobile or Verizon, whoever you're using, and let them know that you're coming out to the Philippines. You need to have your phone unlocked so that when you get out here, you can insert a new SIM card into it. If you have set yourself up with Zoom, this is going to go full circle, boys and girls. If you have set yourself up with Zoom and you come out here to the Philippines for the very first time, because this is what happened to me, you're going to make your very first transaction, and for security purposes, they are going to send you, are you ready? A text to verify it's you. It didn't happen to me because on my phone I had it set up for international calls. I had paid an extra 12 bucks or something like that with T-Mobile to be able to have international calls. I know 3 or 4 guys that didn't do that. They just didn't think of it. It's not that they couldn't afford it or do it or whatever. It just never occurred to them that their phone wasn't going to work once they got out here. And so if you don't have this international deal set up, they have come out, they've come to move money. It's gotten down to the last thing. They've told them what their first dog's name was. They've done all the security question. And they say, okay, we're going to send you a text. And then they can't get the text and they can't get their money. So if you've listened to anything I've said, go talk to your provider, your telephone provider. And when you come out here, make sure that you can get phone calls from your home country, be it the States or Australia or Britain or wherever you're coming from, at least for the first 30 days. And you're going to get yourself up, get past all of these security things, because you're going to do a lot of first, especially when it comes to moving money. Same thing with your credit cards. You're going to want to let your credit cards in your bank and everybody know you're going to be out of the country. So you want to call them and say, hey, listen, on these dates, I'm going to be in the Philippines. I told them I was going to be all over. I said, I'm going to be in Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia. They said, how long? I said, indefinitely. They said, okay, and I haven't had an issue with that end of the credit cards or the ATM card. I've been able to go to an ATM machine in Indonesia and Vietnam and pull out my money without having a hassle. So we covered the clothes, we covered the phone deal, we've covered moving money, the eyeglasses, VPN, mailbox. Along the lines of computers and communicating with the States, your phone can be an expensive endeavor. I know guys, I don't personally do it, but I know guys that have Magic Jack. They pick that up in their home country. I don't have to see it out here. But they have Magic Jack. It goes on the computer and allows them to make phone calls. You can also pay some money via Skype and Viber. I think you can put 10 bucks on Viber, 10 bucks on Skype, and you can do the exact same thing that I paid $25 for on one call. You can make a whole bunch of calls for $10 on Viber or Skype. Again, I haven't done that because I just don't have the need for it. I had that one phone call I had to make, and that was that. Excuse me. So, clothes, Viber, eyeglasses, mailbox, VPN. I'm going off my little list here. I want to make sure that I don't miss anything. If I was to go back for 6 months and return, I would send what's called a Balabaikan box. I think I said that right. It's a box that you can ship from LBC, and it's like 50 bucks, I think, for the box to ship it over here, or $70, something to that effect. And you can fill it up with X amount of pounds of stuff. I think I was told by my friend Joe that if 2 guys can lift it, then it's okay. And so I would ship over here the aforementioned clothes. I would ship over some foods that you can't get here. I won't list them all, but there's just stuff like macaroni and cheese, or jams and jellies, stuff that's maybe not perishable that could survive a boat ride. But I wouldn't put anything perishable in there, but like I said, like boxed stuff, I would send over. I would also ship over not 1 but 2 brand new computers, laptops, simply because they're cheap. The computer I've got here, I think, cost me $200 at Best Buy. And it's done fine, but it's going to come to a point in time where it's not doing so fine. So I would ship over a couple of computers, and I would probably bring one in my backpack. That would be 3. The same computer that I paid $200 for back in the day runs about $600 here, about triple. Electronics are very expensive. Same thing with phones. I would pick up 2 or 3 phones. I came over here with an Apple phone, an iPhone, and I don't like it here. And the one that I'm using now is I forget what the hell they call them. Anyway, it's not an Apple. And the Apple, when it broke, was very expensive to repair. It was hard to find. There's one repair place. It took months. There was no geniuses, no Apple geniuses behind the counter. Quite the opposite. And so, again, little things like, well, not little things, but I would pick up 3 or 4 phones just to have unlocked, cheap phones. Because when you come over here, or when I come over here, I've dropped phones, I've lost phones. They just have little meltdowns, and to go in and replace them here, this little phone that I'm using right now, I think cost me $150. I bought May a phone when she got some donations, or she bought a phone, and it was another $110, $120. It wasn't a lot, but at the same time, I know that back home in the States, I could get the same thing for about half price. And so why not get 3 or 4 of them? They make great gifts, if nothing else. You know, you have a friend going to a birthday, or a buddy needs a phone, or your girlfriend needs a phone, or you need a phone. So you would never waste your money on it. In other words, if I came over here with 3 computers, or laptops, I should say, not desktops, but if I had 3, hell, I could sell one in a pinch for double of what I paid for it, and the guy would still be getting a bargain. So there you go. This is just things that I would do. When I first moved out here, I rushed into my first apartment. So I would budget about $300 to stay 2 weeks in a hotel out here, about $20 a night, maybe $400 for 2 or 3 weeks. You can negotiate, you know, if you're going to be more than a night or 2. So, and I would just take my time looking for an apartment. I would even, going back in my mind, I probably would have found what's called a pension house, which is sort of like, it's not an apartment, but it's not a hotel. It's somewhere in between. It's kind of in the middle. And there's a couple of decent ones. There's some real funky ones too. But I can think of the OK pension house that guys have stayed at here. And I think that their rates are fairly reasonable. And again, it would be something that you could call base camp until you found your real apartment or home that you want to live in. When I first got out here, I wasted a lot of money renting motorbikes. Again, I wasn't sure if I was going to stay here. I had given myself 6 months. So for 6 months, I rented a bike, and that was just a total waste of money. If I had it to do all over again, I just would have gone the first week, pulled the trigger, and bought my bike. I would have upgraded for the Liberace edition. But I would have just bought a bike and called it a day, because you know it was just throwing good money after bad on the rentals. They're funky bikes. They're $100-120 a month. It was just pissed into the wind. So that I would have changed. Medications. Stock up on your medications. And I had this question. No, you cannot get narcotics over here. At least you can't get them easily. So if you're on any kind of oxys or Loratab or Xanax or Valium, the Valium you can get, the Xanax they ran out of. I don't take them anymore. I was on all the aforementioned drugs when I came here. I'm no longer taking them just because the Philippines kind of cured that for me, thank God. But especially the pain stuff. If you guys are on pain medication, and you're not going to get your oxys, you're not going to get your Loratabs and that kind of stuff. And I understand a lot of you are my age, and you got a lot of aches and pains, or you've had surgeries, or the surgeries went sideways, and you're in chronic pain. I get it. I understand. And some of you may just be addicted because they gave it to you 15 years ago and you haven't been able to stop taking it. I get that too. That was my situation. But no, you're not going to get that. If you're on any kind of cholesterol, if you're on any kind of blood pressure, if you're on any kind of blood thinners, again, boys and girls, I would just load up on it. You know, go to your pharmacist, your doctor, let them know you're coming here. Yes, you can get those medications. No, I can't tell you what the prices are because I don't know what you're taking. But it's not going to be any cheaper than it is in your home country because it just isn't. There's no insurance. There's no plan out here. Speaking of insurance, I am on Medicare and I opted to have the Part B. I originally came out here. I was also on the same Skype call that I talked about originally. I was told that I can get PhilHealth out here, which is the same thing that the locals have. And at the time of the call, that was a true statement. But the month that I arrived here, the government changed it that foreigners can buy PhilHealth, but the plan quadrupled in price and the benefits got cut by 50%. So it was no longer a viable option. It just wasn't smart. I don't have a supplemental insurance plan out here. I have money in the bank and I have room on my credit cards that if I was to get hit on my gay looking little scooter and break a leg or two, or if I had a heart attack, God forbid, or any other kind of malady, I do have cash reserves that would cover the aforementioned problem. So that's the way that I've chosen to do it. If I came down with a disease or found out that I had something chronic, it's in my head that I would prefer anyway, just for the care, to go back to the States, go to a hospital there, use my Medicare, and to pay for it. I am not impressed with the medical care that's available here, at least in Dumaguete. I've been to every single hospital they've got. I've walked through them, I've seen them, I've talked to the physicians. I've been misdiagnosed more than once. I think 2 or 3 times I've gone in and they said I had this condition and I didn't have that condition. And I went to different doctors until we finally figured out what it was that I had. So that being said, I think insurance is a great thing. You might want to check into some sort of travel insurance or a personal plan. But out here, just so that you know, if you get hurt or if you get sick and you're going to go to a hospital, you can't wave your little insurance card like I can do when I go to America. I can't just wave my Medicare card and say, here, give me a room. No. Out here, you're going to pay up front. And if it's $400, $500, you need to have that on you or available. So, forewarned is forearmed. Okay, so you're going to unlock your phone. You're going to have a bunch of computers. You're going to buy your gay-looking scooter when you first get here, or car, or whatever it is. You know how to transfer your money. How much money do you need a month to live? I live on $1,500 a month approximately. Your mileage may vary.